कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
In the news tonight, childcare needs major revamp, says Minister. Our pig industry facing a bleak future. And 5th consecutive year of bonus for FPCL.
From the studios of FBC Suba, Ritika Pratap.
Minister for Women Meriseni Vuniwanga gave a sobering message about childcare in Fiji while launching a guideline on child abuse and neglect. Addressing stakeholders from the government and civil society, Vuniwanga says Fiji is failing to protect the welfare of children. Edwin Nunn reports.
For the last decade, Fiji has recorded increasing cases of child abuse every year.
We need to be more innovative in the way that we deal with child abuse and neglect. It also tells us that we are continuing to fail as parents, as caregivers, or as persons and organizations who have been entrusted with the safety and well-being of our children.
We also have challenges and gaps which we are supposed to address. And I have noted the Madam Minister's comments in that regard.
In the first 6 months of 2020, there were 870 cases reported under the Child Welfare Act. Last year, a total of 1,452 cases of child abuse and neglect were reported. In all of these cases, the majority of victims are girls.
The most recorded case types for both years are child neglect, lack of supervision, medical neglect, failure to provide food, clothing or shelter, physical abuse and sexual abuse.
If there is training to be needed, we should be able to do that. If there is SOPs to be needed, we should be able to do that so that we guide our officers. And I know in many of these situations and circumstances, we happen to be the frontline officers who engage.
Vuniwanga adds a long tradition of silence on child abuse is slowly being denounced and is becoming a public and political topic. The interagency guideline launched today strengthens response to children in need of care and protection. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Fiji's pig industry has taken a massive hit due to COVID-19, losing an estimated 60% of the local pork market. The Fiji Pig Farmers Association says about 30 commercial operators are now left overstocked and hence the huge reduction in prices around Fiji. Josiah Nanunga has more.
The influx of pork meat has seen prices tumbling, which could harm the industry in the long run.
The price of pork used to be $20, $30 a kilo, but it has now come down. You can buy pork now on special at about $7, $8 a kilo. Sometimes, certainly 4 or 5 months ago, you could get pork at $7 or $8 a kilo on special prices. These prices have gone now. These prices were to get rid of a backlog of pork that the whole industry had, and they were successful in doing that.
Cole says that during the pre-COVID period, 2,700 tons of pork was produced locally every year, injecting about $14 million into our economy.
Utilize local feed products, we employ labor, we produce product here, and so the money is staying here. We don't have to send this money to another country to purchase our pork.
Fiji Meat Industry Board Chief Executive Vimal Chand says the demand for beef and pork meat picked up drastically in the last 4 months due to the easing of certain COVID-19 restrictions.
Demand dipped down in March and then it picked from April. So basically we are dealing in local livestock.
There are about 30,000 small pig farmers in the country, and Cole believes the number is expected to drop over the next few months due to the pandemic. Chosaye Nanunga, FBC News.
The Fiji Ports Corporation Limited has paid out bonuses and dividends for the 5th consecutive year since the Fiji National Provident Fund bought shares in a public-private partnership. The improved position of FPCL ties in with the government's vision of strengthening Fiji's position as a trade, transportation, logistics and communications hub of the Pacific. Corey Tandulala reports Christmas also came early for 159 FPCL employees who will receive their bonuses.
The Ports Corporation recorded the highest ever profit in its history last year.
2019, the financial performance of FPTL continued to be strong, delivering consistently high returns to our shareholders.
The company has recorded a net profit after tax of 28.04 million, an increase of 4% compared to 2018. This has also led to an increase of shareholding dividends from 16.24 million to 16.82 million.
FPCL board chair Shaheen Ali says 159 employees within the organization will be paid over $203,210 in bonus.
Today, our staff share the part of the success by receiving a bonus payment, while we pay over $16 million to our shareholders, noting 80% to government and FNPF.
The Fijian government will receive 6.89 million payment from the 6.65 million that was paid out last year. Similarly, FNPF will receive 6.56 million from the 6.33 million it received last year. And of course, Aitken Spence will receive 3.3 million from the 3.25 million it received last year.
Ali says 2019 has laid a strong foundation for FPCL's 5-year strategic plan and the achievement of its 6 strategic goals, which are governance, infrastructure, financial performance, organization capacity, environment and safety. Coraitan Tulala, FBC News.
More people are now venturing into rice farming, with others indicating interest following the COVID-19 crisis. Fiji Rice Limited General Manager Ashrit Pratap says this is encouraging news, as it will help the rice industry achieve its aim of reducing imports and becoming self-sufficient. Eleanor Turangeviu has more.
The COVID-19 crisis has seen an increase in rice farming, with Fiji Rice Limited receiving many interests from the Western Division.
There's a lot of new farmers coming in, and mostly some people have lost their jobs after this COVID-19 thing.
Paddy costs and government incentives and subsidies are also enticing current cane farmers to switch to rice farming.
The cane farmers used to plant rice as well, but mostly for self-sustainable level. But now it's coming back after this COVID thing came up.
Fiji Rice Limited is also negotiating with landowners who have unutilized land to plant rice under a joint venture agreement.
Our plan is to plant rice. We have just acquired about 60 acres of land, and we have about 50 acres which we will utilize for rice farming.
At the moment, we are working with 10 farmers, and we're hoping to increase that.
With these new farms, along with several of their own in Buan, Riketi, Senganga and Lambasa, Fiji Rice Limited can expect another good year of production.
Definitely, we broke the record for the past 15 years in the last financial year, and we're hoping to increase that.
Fiji Rice Limited has around 235 active farmers, and they expect this number to increase this year. 90% of these farmers are from Vanuatu and 10% from Vitilevu. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Up ahead, local road contractors lack special machines, and Spa Academy graduates commended.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Welcome back. The first state witness in the case against Free Soul Real Estate Development Limited today testified work done by the company on Malolo Island had been deemed illegal. Environment Officer Kelera Tokalau gave her account of the matter in Suva Magistrates Court today. Apanisa Wangirandovu reports Tokalau said she visited the site 4 times, and only during her first visit was the site in its pristine natural state.
Free Soul Real Estate faces 1 count of undertaking unauthorized development and failure to comply with a prohibition notice. It's alleged the developer carried out work on the dry land at Wadia on Malolo Island without an approved environment impact assessment report. In court today, Tokalau said on August 1st, 2017, she visited the site, and back then there was no development. She says the company was expected to submit an environmental impact assessment. However, from her 2nd to 4th visits, she noted the company had already started working. Tokelau told the court that the work included the creation of a channel, access roads, staff quarters, and even the raising of the foreshore level. She also noted construction materials stacked on the shore. She told the court this work took place despite no EIA report or approval, and therefore the department deemed the work illegal. Meanwhile, the defense lawyer put to Tokelau that all this work, including the development of a channel to the ocean, were in the submitted screening report. Tokelau agreed. However, she says the EIA report and approval are needed for any work to begin. The defense lawyer then put to Tokelau that the materials on the shore were for a nearby village school and the channel was needed to offload them. Tokelau says she became aware on her third visit, saying the offloading could be done at high tide without the channel. She also confirmed that her contact has been one Manasa Tawake, who confirmed receiving the prohibition notice and had responded via phone call and email. If the company is convicted, it will face fines up to $750,000 or a term of up to 10 years imprisonment for its directors. The trial continues tomorrow. Apinisawa Gardobu, FBC News.
The Fiji Roads Authority confirms there is a shortage of local contractors with specialized machines. Acting Chief Executive Kamal Prasad says only few contractors have their own plans and some are not certified. As a result, local road contractors are working in collaboration with international contractors who have these machines. Kritika Kumar has the story.
Having their kits will enable local contractors to work on the contracts put out by the FRA or other developers.
There are a few who have got their old plants and some are not certified, and that's the issue we're having at the moment, that a few things are not certified.
More opportunities will be created if local contractors have their specialized equipment. Prasad adds this will also ensure projects are completed on time.
The Owls is one who has got their own fully kitted crew, so that makes our life easier. And I believe Fair Deal is also in the process of getting their own equipment. So it will be good to have local contractors who are fully kitted, and it'll make our life easier to get the roads done in good time.
Infrastructure Minister Chone Usamate is urging Fijians to respect the contractors working on the road and follow all instructions.
It's very important that people take cognizance of the road signs. When the road sign says 50, make sure you travel at 50. Ask us to slow down. Because if we don't do that, we destroy infrastructure, then we have to pay for it again, and that money comes from taxpayers.
The FRA is currently carrying out road improvement works in Lami, Nasinu Road, Milverton, Fulanga Street and Lakemba Road in Suva. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Minister for Employment Parveen Kumar has applauded the hard work put in by the 20 graduates of the Spa Academy despite the tough times being faced by many. Speaking during the graduation ceremony in Nandi today, Kumar said the health and beauty industry continues to grow in the country. Philippe Nikaso has more.
And now we look forward.
These graduates have been reminded to continue aiming higher in the health and beauty field.
This health and beauty industry is a growing business, and you should all be proud of being graduated at this reputable institution. New treatments and technologies are always being developed, and with more services being offered, there is a greater demand for skill and persons like you.
The Academy has partnered with the Ministry of Youth and Sports to help the graduates enhance their skills.
Young people around the world and in Fiji will not only determine our future, but they will definitely define what the world looks like.
Students completing the beauty and spa programs are externally assessed by international assessors, ensuring practical outcomes for students' careers.
Our short courses allow the respective graduates a means of earning revenue, either by working at home or working in department stores such as Jack's, Tapu's, Proud's as skincare specialists.
For the past 20 years, the Academy has had guaranteed employment for graduates. Philippe Naikaso, FBC News.
More than $20 million is being injected into the construction of a liquefied petroleum gas terminal by the Petroleum and Gas Company, better known as Blue Gas. The company today performed a foundation-laying ceremony for the new terminal at Dalina Vesi in Lami. Pranita Prakash reports.
The increasing demand has forced Blue Gas to set up a new terminal in Suva.
I've been in the business for the last 30 years with one terminal in Vunda. It's part of our risk management and the demand for business growth and all in the Suva area, so we're doing this terminal.
The storage terminal will further cement Blue Gas's footprint in the central and the eastern regions and improve customer reach.
It will help the logistics a lot because gas obviously was transported from our Vunda terminal here, but now the ship will discharge gas directly into the terminal here, which will be on completion for subsequent distribution to clients and customers.
More than 70 new jobs will be created when work on the terminal is completed by August next year. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Corey joins you now with the latest from the business world.
Thanks, Ritika. Coming up after the break, PS5 runs out of first day release. And in growing Fiji, clean water fundamentals, says Prime Minister. Stay with us.
Pula nadang ko aprosa ng garse, go erkraki. Do televizyon na barong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
The new Sony PlayStation 5 video game sold out quickly around the world since its launch today, and it's the same scenario here at home. The console was sold out by 1 p.m. at all Prouds outlets across the country. Fijian video gaming enthusiasts lined up outside various Prouds Fiji stores early this morning in anticipation of the game's release. Vedina Rakautonga has more.
Eager Fijians who could afford the $1,999 product were at Proud stores even before sale launched at 10 a.m.
I was here since 7:30 a.m. in the morning, so I had a few friends to pass the time. It was an interesting experience. I saw a lot of people interested in this product. I've been planning to buy this for many months.
For Pranil Prakash, the wait was worth it.
In line, I came 7 a.m. Yes. I was the second customer here. 7 a.m. been waiting 3 hours now. So finally, I got it.
Due to the high demand in Fiji, the lucky ones were able to enjoy the luxuries of the console earlier.
The past few weeks, he's been talking to his parents about it. And then just last night, before this thing came out, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, so the PS5 coming out tomorrow." And then I guess God has his plans, and we got our PS5 here.
It's excited when the kids will see this, they will experience something new, extra advanced technology.
Others in Fiji have pre-ordered their consoles and are waiting for the next stock. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
U.S. stocks closed steeply lower after a late session sell-off today. This came as investors weighed surging COVID-19 infections and mounting shutdowns against encouraging vaccine developments. Sanifa from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the money market.
The Aussie dollar saw a slight lag as South Australia imposed lockdown to curb a fresh COVID-19 outbreak, overshadowing positive labour data released earlier in the day. The country's unemployment rate in October was 7%, slightly below the forecast 7.2%. The US dollar was rising early today, clawing back gains from earlier losses. The forex market saw small moves as the number of COVID-19 cases globally continues to rise and expectation of further monetary stimulus from the US Federal Reserve begins to grow. U.S. employment figures will be closely watched tonight for guidance on the Federal Reserve's next moves. The U.S. dollar index that tracks the greenback against a basket of other currencies inched up 0.09%. But overall, there has been a downward trend in general as recently released industrial production and retail sales figures highlight the fragility of the U.S. economic recovery. That's all from HFC Bank, Vinaka.
Here are the local exchange rates as set early this morning. The Fiji dollar was on the rise against major foreign currencies, gaining on the Chinese yuan, the US dollar and the others. It lost some ground versus the New Zealand dollar and the Japanese yen. Now turning to the commodities, prices were mixed. Crude oil was on the rise near $42 a barrel. Gold also was down slightly at $1,860 per ounce, and silver closed down at $24.38 per ounce. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says clean drinking water is fundamental to good health and a high standard of living. He was speaking at the commissioning of the Tavuki Village Water Project in Kandavu yesterday. The project cost over $189,000. Bainimarama says it is his government's aim and commitment to close the gap in the standard of living between the urban and rural areas of Fiji. He says during visits to some villages, he has noticed very crude and basic systems for delivering water, and in some instances, others have had to bring in water by boats.
Broken water system is a health disaster waiting to happen. Water must be kept pure and safe, and that requires us to constantly monitor and assess the systems that are in place. We need to be sure that the systems are resilient and will continue to function through storms and other natural disasters. But we need to be sure that they continue to function properly even when they are not under stress.
The new system was tested during Tropical Cyclone Harold, and it emerged with only minor damages. He has also announced that the village now has a new storage tank, and villagers will no longer have to carry water in buckets. That's it from Business Tonight. Jamie joins you next with the latest in sports.
Thanks, and good evening in Sports Tonight. Police blew up for underdog tag in Escort Shield final. And Choela Mbubunua ready for Fiji Fact. This and more coming up.
FM number 2 NSR.
Bola FM number 2 NSR.
The top two teams in the Super Rugby Union are ready to face off in the Digicel Escort Shield finals on Saturday. Police Blue and Freshet Navy Blue also faced off in the 2019 semi-finals, with victors Navy edging Police 26-14. Now the two forces are back again, battling for one of Suva's most prestigious rugby titles. Karlaini Tavi has more.
The Police Blues rugby team has opted for the underdog tag in its final in the Escort Shield.
I think Navy has it all. They were the team to beat. We're going in as underdogs in this year's finals.
For the Navy team, being mentally prepared to win is the key.
The team have been preparing physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Meanwhile, in the Koroturanga Shield finals, the Eastern Saints have been making headlines all season and made it to the finals by creating major upsets.
We wouldn't know that we'll reach this far, and I would like to thank the boys for the effort from the starting of the journey up till today. Challenges was financial challenges and going up team in Koroturanga Championship and during training.
Eastern Saints will meet Freshet Navy White in the Koroturanga final at Albert Park on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. While in the Escort Shield final, Police Blues will face Freshet Navy Blue at 4. Karlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Young Lautoka goalkeeper Choela Mbubunua is ready to take the field again when they open their Fiji Fact account against Nandi this Saturday. The Blues' first-choice goalkeeper missed out on their IDC final match against Rewa last month due to injury and is happy to be back in the mix for the Sugar City side. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
A fit 22-year-old Choela Mbubunua is raring to be back on the field during the last tournament for this season.
So I tried to do my best, give something back to the Lautoka fan. Now since that injury happened to me in IDC, I've made my comeback through my injury. Now I'm trying to prove myself back in this major tournament in the Fiji Fact.
This will also be his third major tournament and Bivonua believes they need to have a perfect start, especially against the defending champions.
Ninti will be trying to give back something for their district because they are the champions for Fiji Fed.
The team is also calling on fans to provide the much needed support in their first game.
The team hasn't been performing well after IDC. There are some ups and downs with the team, with the management, but forgetting that, we are preparing for a tournament.
Lautoka will play Nandi on Saturday at 3 p.m. at Churchill Park, while in the first match at the same venue, Nasinu meets Mba at 1:30 p.m. Philip and Aikaso, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Football Association will be introducing a new league competition for the under 12 and 14 grades from 2021. President Rajesh Patel made this announcement during the Suva Football Association's Vodafone Premier League celebration at the Fiji FA Hall in Watuanga, Suva last night. Patel says this is part of Fiji FA's Grassroots development program, where they want to ensure players are brought into the system early and nurtured in their districts.
From next year, we'll be having the under 12 and under 14 league, and there will be competitions within the association, member associations, and the best players will be picked from all these competitions within Suva, Nabua, Rewa, Balut, all over, and then they will compete in the under 12 and the under 14 league.
A lot of promising talent was on display in the Fiji Swimming Age Group Nationals over the weekend. The first swimming competition held post-COVID-19 saw 21 national records being broken. Talia Matarakula reports.
The future looks bright for Fiji swimming, with a number of talents displayed during the three-day event.
A lot of personal best times have been established and a number of national records also being broken. So well done to the swimmers. Yeah.
This will augur well for Fiji swimming in terms of regional and international meets.
Yes, very much, because the times I used to do back then, they are surpassing it by like a minute or two. So really can't wait to see them as they grow up and come compete in the open age with us.
National reps have also set the bar, securing record times.
We had Nathani Ross, who's been pretty consistent in just about every Grand Prix and this weekend's nationals. He's been setting new times in his national records, which means he's been dropping it.
Swimmers will now suit up for the Open Nationals next month, which is also a qualifying event for the Tokyo Olympic Games. Talia Matarakula, FBC Sports.
Queensland stunned New South Wales 20-14 last night to clinch the State of Origin series. The Maroons last won the title in 2017, while coach Wayne Bennett's last Origin title was 17 years ago. Here are the tries from the match. In play of the day, Nero pro Novak Djokovic was beaten for only the fourth time this year, this time at the ATP Finals. The Serb hit 24 unforced errors and 5 double faults in a 6-3, 6-3 loss to fourth seed Daniil Medvedev in London. That's it from Sports Tonight. Coming up in new media, Apple lowers App Store fees for small developers. This and more after the break.
Baik tu Dendi biar tahu, Radio Fiji बहुत Radio Fiji रोज सुनता हूँ.
Radio Fiji 2 देश की धड़कन.
Angie joins you now with weather.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. Thursday brought in rain, not a very beautiful sight, but it really helped in the cooling off from all that heat that we've been having for the past few weeks. Now let's see if it was the same weather scenario everywhere. In the west, it rained heavily, so take care while on the road. Eastwards from Back Harbour to Suva, persistent showers. These showers are not taking breaks. And up north, flooding in low-lying areas, showers to continue. At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, may gusts to 30 knots at times. For the tides, high tide at 10:47 p.m. with low tide at 5:23 a.m. Sunrise at 6:21, well, that is if the showers ease. For tomorrow, it's a Friday, but still we have very high chances of rain. So if you missed out on bringing your umbrellas today, ensure to have it tomorrow. Tomorrow's temps, all centers will remain in the low to high 20s. And looking further on to Saturday, more showers coming our way. Reality check, we now have to deal with showers for some time. That's all the weather news from my end. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Angie, for that update. In Fijian Pulse, we asked, is Water Authority of Fiji being too secretive about the water cuts happening around the country?
Firstly, they should try and notify the residents and at least tell them when will there be water shortage or, reveal the real information instead of keeping the residents and the citizens guessing.
WEF should be telling us what the problem is. Water problem is every day.
These water cuts are getting really frustrating and I'm very disappointed.
These water cuts are really getting annoying. It's also frustrating.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, check out these amazing replicas of notable landmarks made out of matchsticks. Recapping the main stories, childcare needs major revamp, says Minister. Our pig industry facing a bleak future and 5th consecutive year of bonus for FPCL. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM to our poll question. This week we are asking, are you prepared for the festive season amid COVID-19? Visit our FBC website to answer. On to today's shot of the day, a fine day in Wunambaka Malolo Levu Nandi, captured by Thomas Newton. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet at FBC News or hashtag FBC News. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, good night.
कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोमगो लेबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।